Metal Raiders introduced effect monsters worth playing, Heavy Storm, and Counter Traps. Welcome to the Legacy Crusaders YouTube channel. My name is Benji, and in this series, myself and various co-hosts will be trying to beat each other using the best possible deck that can be built using every set released in order, including starter decks, tournament packs, and all promotional cards released in video games, at the movies, or even at McDonald's. This is playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In order. So first, if you're new to the series, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card database and point out any notable cards that were released in this set that weren't already in a previous set. If you want to know about those cards, you're welcome to click on the link to the playlist of previous episodes up above. Otherwise, we're going to go over Metal Raiders, and I actually have a treat for you guys. We're also going to be introducing Tournament Pack 1, which was released between Metal Raiders and Magic Ruler, and the reason we're doing that because in Starter Deck Yu-Gi, many of the cards that are actually released in Metal Raiders were already released as commons. So there's actually not as many new cards as there could be, so we have to introduce Tournament Pack somewhere, and there's really only one card worth playing, so I figured this is as good a place as any to introduce those cards. So, of the cards that are in Metal Raiders that are notable, we have Mechanical Chaser, which is a level 4 or normal monster, Dark Machine with 1850 attack points, which is currently the highest in the game. When I was playing back then, this card, I never pulled it in like 50 tournament packs, but I had a friend who had 3 of them, and he bought them all for $150 each. Anyways, we have 3 cards I think are worth mentioning from this set, which are Goddess with the Third Eye, Beast King of the Swamp, and Versailles the Destroyer, none of which whose stats really matter other than that weak enough to be searched by Witch of the Black Forest or Sangan, but they are fusion substitute monsters, so if you had to play like some high-level fusion material you didn't want to play, such as like Red Eyes Black Dragon for making Black Skull Dragon, which is in Metal Raiders, you had an alternative, so you didn't actually have to play a level 7-2 tribute monster you didn't really want to play. They're also light and dark, specifically Goddess with the Third Eye and Versailles the Destroyer, both of which I played in different decks that were generic light and dark decks based on some of the cards that are actually going to be in the set. Anyway, so other than those 4 cards, there's nothing in this set really worth mentioning. Shining Angel was a Taya card from the anime. We get Bean Soldier here, some people seem to think is a fun card. I think Tiger Axe and Axe Raider are Joey cards. And none of the effect monsters otherwise do anything really, but there were a few cards that were missing equipment spells. Like these equipment spells are equivalent to Sword of Dark Destruction, which was related in Starter Deck Yu-Gi. And we have Blue Medicine and Raimi, which are similar to the previously released Life Point Gain and Burn cards, which we're never going to play, so they're neg 1s. And the other fun card released in the set is White Hole, which is just a direct counter to Dark Hole, which prevents your cards from being destroyed by Dark Hole. Not going to play that. Anyways, so we're probably going to be playing Mechanical Chaser. If we feel greedy to play fusion monsters, we can play Versailles the Destroyer. I don't think we're going to do that because we are playing Master Rule 5, post-errata, current ban list, but traditional format. So we have 3 Dark Holes and 3 Mirror Force. So running a big fusion into a Mirror Force or Dark Hole is probably not a good use of cards. So let's take a look at Metal Raiders and see if there's anything else worth playing. First we have Kuriboh. Kuriboh can actually prevent us from taking damage without having a really obviously set trap card, because we could get blown out by Heavy Storm, which is in this set. Kuriboh is a card I also played. But it was more for banishing for summoning Dark Necrofear, which I think will be released in a few sets. Worth noting for future possibility. Magician of Faith is a flip effect monster to add back our really good spell cards, and since we have Pot of Greed, Dark Hole, Raigeki, there's a lot of good stuff. Heavy Storm is in this set. Magician of Faith will definitely be played. 2 or 3 of, not sure at the moment. I'm purposely skipping cards where there are similar cards that I'd rather address later. This set introduces all of the counterparts to the Link 2s that are element-based. So Hashinjin and Gen is this light fairy with 500 attack. It gains 500 attack. All lights gain 500 attack while it's on the field, including itself. So it's really a 1000 attack monster. It also weakens dark monsters. Similar to Hip Hashin, the Link monster that was released much later on. And all the cards that are in here and their counterparts this is where the counterparts of all those Link 2s were released. So Bladefly went with Greatfly. We have Jinzo number 7. So the set also introduced a bunch of monsters that can attack directly, which is relevant in future sets because they're all low level, so they get around Gravity Bind. I'm not sure what set Gravity Bind comes out in, but we should keep note of this for future strategy. Larvae Moth, Petite Moth, and all those fun moth cards that are awful are in this set. Definitely not playing them for the series. Mask of Darkness is Magician of Faith for trap cards. It has the benefit of being a Dark Fiend if you want to go Dark Fiend route, which was really popular back then, but picking up a trap card your opponent knows about is not particularly useful, so not as playable as Magician of Faith. Muka Muka is it gains 300 attack for every card in your hand, so with a base stat of 600, if we just open Muka Muka, we could actually just have a 2100 attack power monster, and that could be enough to get over any 2000 defender. Starboy goes with Miss Starboy. Time Wizard would be useful if we didn't have 3 Dark Holes in this format. It was originally 1 Dark Hole and 1 Raigeki, so additional board wipes are useful, but it is a board wipe that uses our normal summon and can backfire. Witch's Apprentice goes with Wee Witch's Apprentice. Dream Clown is useful for Clown Control, which is going to come out in a future set with Gravity Bind, where you just play Dream Clown and Crass Clown and slowly shift them to destroy your opponent's monsters and return their monsters to the hand while declaring attacks. So this is the Dream Clown. Crass Clown is coming up later. I think Lady of Faith is like an original look of Doriado. This vanilla monster, No Atari, I think is often used on like not the YCS, but when people put like pie charts of YCS top cuts, this is used as the other card. Kaiba's Saggy the Dark Clown's in this set. This is the original release of Sangan. We're playing post errata, so the purpose of post errata is so that we don't actually have to worry about a forbidden list. Or actually changing our forbidden list. We could just play a traditional game. So traditional format would actually include cards with their post erratas. So we are playing Master Rule 5, which only affects Pendulum, so that won't matter for a long time. But Sangan's effect changing, not relevant in Metal Raiders, might be in future sets. We have White Magical Hat, which is one of the monsters that does something when you inflict damage. This takes a card out of our opponent's hand. It's low attack, but if you can clear your opponent's board, taking cards out of their hand is a better use of than just doing damage. So it's a solid pick. We got 7 Colored Fish, an 1800 monster that people played back then. Big Eye, which I didn't think would be good, but in this format, looking at your top 5 cards and potentially adding a power spell to your hand is something worth considering. We got another 1500 level 4 dragon. I addressed it in the previous episode that that's useful if you wanted to play like Lord of Dragons and Flute of Summoning Dragon. Not sure the dragons are worth playing. Cannon Soldier's in here, which was always a solid card. It has decent stats. It's a machine, so when limiter removal comes out, Cannon Soldier works very well with that. It's also got a good attack and defense for searching with Sangan and Witch of the Black Forest, as well as summoning off of Mystic Tomato, which I think is coming out in the next set. When I was younger, Castle Dark Illusions didn't have its errata, so it didn't actually say zombies on the field. So when we heard it just increased the attack of zombies, we just wrote it down that all zombies in the game everywhere had an attack boost. We have Crass Clown. Dark Elf is stronger than all of the regular attackers, 2k, but you have to pay 1,000 life points to attack with it. And Juraigumo is also in the set that pays half, and as we learned from Solemn Judgment in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, half your life points is always payable, and 1,000 is not. Other cards in this set worth playing. Oh, this set introduces Harpy Lady, and Elegant Egotist is in here as well. I don't think they get played at this time, but we could play them. Juraigumo, so 2200, where we risk half our life points every time we declare an attack. Useful that it's searchable off Witch of the Black Forest to potentially get over a 2k defender. Nice to know we can search for it. We got Mass Sorcerer. It's similar to a White Magical Hat, but when we inflict damage, we draw a card. Prevent Rat is a 2k defender. Now, because we're not drafting packs like in the Cimoooooooo series, we actually don't need to resort to playing Prevent Rat. We still have Giant Soldier of Stone and Wall of Illusion to play. Bystro Butcher was played back in the day, but not for giving your opponent 2 cards. It was just a Dark Fiend. So if you wanted to put in Dark Fiend cards like Yami specifically, you could make your Butcher bigger than a lot of the cards your opponent would play, like 7 Colored Fish, and they couldn't attack over it. You wouldn't really attack your opponent. You didn't really want to give them cards, but sometimes you just needed a beater. I don't think we're going to need to resort to that because we have our Mechanical Chaser. We got Witch of the Black Forest, also has an errata now, but so the biggest issue with our Witches and Sangans is that if we have multiples, we're not going to be able to activate them off of like 1 Dark Hole in the same turn. Not a big deal, but Witch is better than Sangan because it can search almost any card you would want to play, because all your monsters will have relatively low defense, with the exception of like a Wall of Illusion or something. You can search Summon Skull or any beater in your deck. You can even search your weak attack monsters that you would search with Sangan, like Magician of Faith. Catapult Turtles in this set been errated, so we won't be having the Magical Scientist FTK going on. Some more high-level fusions for Magical Scientist FTK, which would be relevant to our format if we were playing pre-errata. Kaminari Attack came out in this set, which was played in Thunder Dragon. Lava and Swamp Battle Guard would be decent if it didn't take so long to do tribute summons. I think Octo Beam was played in place of Dark Witch sometimes in Extra Deck Monarchs 1 year. Shadow Ghoul is a level 5 with 1600 attack that gains 100 for every monster in the grave. I don't think we're going to be able to put enough monsters in our graveyard to make that relevant, but it is worth mentioning. Thunder Dragon and Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon are in this set, so that means if you do play Polymerization, it's an easy fusion. Because if you open 1 Thunder Dragon and 1 Poly, you can do that. You can also play that alongside of playing other fusion targets, like you could play Versaggio the Destroyer and Summon Skull and play Black Skull Dragon, which is in this set. We got Barrel Dragon, which is like my favorite 2 tribute monster from back in the day, because it has a solid effect. Just once per turn, you can potentially destroy a monster in addition to attacking. All the other 2 tribute monsters were technically weaker than Barrel Dragon, in addition to not having any relevant or good effect. Let's see, what else? Kazijin, Suijin, and Sangha of the Thunder are all in this set. There are 2 tribute monsters that can't be attacked over, but the only one with the highest attack is Sangha. So Sangha you would play first, which means if you can get all 3 on the field, you can summon Gate Guardian, but that's never going to happen. Twin-headed Thunder Dragons in this set is a super rare. I think I have one from Metal Raiders. We got Black Skull Dragon, which I did play, and I did fuse Summon Skull with Versaggio the Destroyer for it. No reason to play Red Eyes Black Dragon, unless I did play Red Eyes. I don't think I would have. It wouldn't have made sense. Not over Summon Skull. I'd probably just play more Versaggios. This is the release of Block Attack, so the opposite of Stop Defense. So every monster who's attacking in this format has really high attack but really low defense, so this card's not awful. It's kind of similar to playing a Tribute to the Doomed, which is also in this set. Change of Heart. We already got in the starter deck, so I'm not going to spend any time talking about it. We got Heavy Storm, so this is the power back row removal. It's probably too strong for what we actually do need in this format, but if that's what we got, we're going to have 1 Heavy Storm for the rest of this match, for the rest of the series even. Power Crept Gravedigger's Ghoul from the first episode with Soul Release, because it only banished 2 cards, but this banishes 5, and you can hit either graveyard. Sword and Shield is a nice backup card for letting your high defenders get over strong attackers. We got a couple of equipment spells in this set, not worth playing. We have Stim Pack for 700 attack, which slowly gets weaker, but 7 I think is a good number at this point in the game. But Sword of Deep-Seated gave you 5, never went down, but it kept going on top of your deck when your monster died. So if you played it, you had to risk potentially top decking Sword of Deep-Seated every turn forever. I got Tremendous Fire, which is to discard a card and destroy any monster your opponent controls, or any monster really. You can destroy your own. I don't know why you would. But sometimes Fissure is just not enough. But you could probably do the same thing with a block attack. Fake Trap is not that useful. Protecting your trap cards from Heavy Storm is nice, but you could just set 1 trap card instead. This set introduces counter traps, so we have Horn of Heaven, which negates a summon, Magic Jammer, which negates a spell, and we have 7 Tools that negates a trap, and we have Solemn Judgment that negates anything, except the monster effect. Solemn Judgment's for half your life, whereas 7 Tools is for 1,000 life. 7 Tools might be worth playing, since it's going to be really difficult to play around Mirror Force, although Magic Jammer might not be worth playing, because discarding a card could be problematic, and you might need all your cards. In this format, you do have too many monsters you can't summon at the same time, so discarding an unsummonable monster might be worth it. You can stop things like Pot of Greed, which wouldn't stop otherwise, or Raigeki. Mirror Force is in here, so this will definitely be making the deck list, but how many to play is the question. We got Robin Goblin, which can let all of our monsters actually do the same thing that White Magical Hat would do, without having to summon a monster that's weak, so that might be something to consider as well. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the deck list. I'm going to build a deck, we'll hook up with our co-host, and we'll play our duel, and after the duel, what we're going to do is we're just going to take a look at their deck list, compare our list, and discuss why we chose what we chose. But you'll see the deck in 3, 2, 1. Alright, Metal Raiders, and we are here with Darnell of Bemani Lounge. Say what up.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Alright, if you guys haven't seen the Bemani Lounge Facebook group or YouTube channel, they also host tournaments on their Discord server. Links to all of these things will be in the description. Darnell, anything you want to add that I didn't mention?
Yeah, so just like real quick, like Bemani Lounge is really just like a community of just like awesome Yu-Gi-Oh players. Like you mentioned, we have the online tournaments in our Discord. We have a Facebook group. We have a store out in New Jersey where we sell like retro video games and Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. So that's pretty dope. So yeah, just check us out.
All right, here we go. So we're playing traditional Master Rule 5 post errata. Erratas actually matter in this format, because Sangan and Witch of the Black Forest are now legal in these sets.
Oh, looks like I'm going first, which is exactly what I wanted.
Oh, I haven't determined that going first is correct yet, because you get an extra card, you can't do too much going first, you can't destroy anything, so I don't know if I even want to go first.
This might be a horrible play, because I know Heavy Storm is in the format, but we're going to see what happens.
After just talking to you and telling you about some of the cards in the pool, I actually made some very weird changes to my deck, which is what I think I mentioned, that this deck looks ridiculous.
I'm very curious to see the deck list, because I know like we probably landed on some of the same choices, but I just want to see like how the lists like differ.
Yeah, you did include Mechanical Chasers in your deck, because we had access to that, so make sure you're...
Oh, I guess you'll have to find out.
Well, I mean, I would hope you didn't play Legend over it.
Thinking on something real quick. Nah, it's fine. Cool. I'm just gonna get right to it. Go to battle phase. Man-Eater Bug. Man-Eater Bug.
A Man-Eater Bug, that's so starter deck Yugi. We're in Metal Raiders.
Sangan, okay.
Yeah, Sangan broken. What do I want?
Oh wait. Sorry. Did we could only use the cards from Metal Raiders?
Oh no. You could use everything before. So if you're
okay.
Oh. No. I was just kidding. I was just saying that there are other options besides Man-Eater Bug, so while it is a good choice, I'm not sure it's the best choice at the moment.
Okay. Made me nervous. Screwed up on the deck building.
No, you're fine. I'll take a Wall of Illusion. See, that's close from starter deck Yugi.
Gotcha. I'm just gonna pass right there. Very caveman Yu-Gi-Oh like.
Yeah, caveman Yu-Gi-Oh is the way all these matches are gonna be. Let's see.
Fissure. Darkhold me.
Maybe later.
Oh, okay. Man's just holding on to it.
Well, it's a 3-of in this format, which is crazy. It's actually going to make deck building really difficult because you have to like justify not playing it to make space for real cards.
No, it totally makes sense.
Huh, you bet you didn't see that coming. Unless that was your way of dark holing my Wall of Illusion without killing your monster.
I kind of knew it was Wall of Illusion, but I was just
I guess you need to flip it eventually, right?
Yeah. Okay, no trap hole. Not yet, at least.
Yeah, a lot of cards I was playing last game in the last episode. I have changed around like how I'm using them. Oh man, that's a lot of back row. Come on, Heavy Storm.
Yeah, I know. It's making me nervous, but I'm going for it.
I'm afraid to commit too much to the board, but so far it doesn't look like you're getting over Wall of Illusion.
Not yet.
No, not yet, at least. Like, this was a card that wasn't in... Oh, uh-oh. That is a problem.
Yeah. We're just gonna go to battle phase.
Well, maybe you can, like, Solemn Judgment your attack. Come on. What are you calling? You called... it landed the opposite. Well, you got by it.
Yeah, but... I was hoping to do it without costing half my life points, but it's fine.
It's not like you needed those for anything.
Yeah, you know, life points don't matter in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, that's why everybody plays Judgment at 3, right?
Exactly.
You can afford it all. I think you can even play it when you have 1 life point. It just keeps you at 1.
No, absolutely. What do I want to do here? I'm just gonna pass.
Alright,
Need to get some more board presence here.
well, I mean, unless this is a Wall of Illusion, you can finally not get bounced.
Let's do this.
Ow. Alright, what to take?
Because I feel like in like this like form of Yu-Gi-Oh, unless you have the dark hole, like whoever gets like their monster count up higher on field is probably gonna win.
Yeah. It's definitely hard to like retake the board once people start establishing monsters and you really need like these big board clearers to like get anywhere.
Exactly. Alright, let's go in again. Unless you got that mirror force.
I mean, I wish. Damn it.
Ooh, free attack.
I wanted you to make this game really easy for me. With the whole like paying your life.
Oh. RNG's not working in your favor.
It did once. I'm also like undefeated so far in Yu-Gi-Oh! In order so far.
Well, we'll see if I can change that.
I was hoping it was just the edge of having played back in the day.
I mean, I don't think I mentioned this in any of like the Bemani Lounge videos, but like there's like an enormous gap where I wasn't in the game at all for like 15 years. So I was around for like really old school Yu-Gi-Oh! So like I'm kind of used to this. What do I wanna do with that? Judgment on the judgment.
You got another one?
Unfortunately, no.
Alright. Let's try and get in for a free card. Can't trap hole that.
See, I thought about playing that and the white magical hat.
They're really solid. Like if you, damn it, if there's nothing to like stop you going on the board, it's a good way to go. It wasn't in my list at first. It's one of the cards I determined would be good in the long run because I actually started testing this the next set, Spell Ruler, and I was trying to figure out what to like float into with like Mystic Tomatoes and stuff. And I'm like, these dark monsters, they do so much.
No, that makes sense.
All right, lodge in. Let's go. I was afraid of all. God damn it! I was afraid of all the mirror forces. I didn't know how heavy you'd go on these traps. Because they are you could play around them a little bit. I was trying to find ways to play around Trap Hole, but I didn't really come up with a good one.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I'm a trap card kind of guy. It's just how I am.
Oh yeah, you're an Altergeist guy, right?
Yeah. Guru too, you know, when I'm in the mood.
Yeah, Guru, I've played. I don't play it now. I mostly play Infernoids. Ah! This is making things difficult.
I'm sorry, man.
No, it's okay. I deserve that. I threw a lot of people's monsters in trap holes in previous episodes.
Oh, so it's karma.
Yeah. Okay. I have like an optional play. Okay, I'm gonna do the more dangerous play.
More dangerous play.
Yeah, I have a more dangerous play here.
That makes me nervous. I don't like being nervous.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just get to do that.
Wow, not cool. Not cool at all, man.
Yeah, that actually wasn't the more dangerous play, but it's okay. I'll take it. I drew another alternative.
Oh, man. If only I had some draw power. If only.
We could play card destruction. We could both draw.
I debated on that card.
Yeah, I decided I wasn't going to play it unless I went like Thunder Dragons. So you might see a Thunder Dragon. There's so many powerful spells, you can't really like let your opponent draw like a million cards.
See, like, I thought about Thunder Dragons, like, with polymerization, because, like, the twin-headed is very hard to get over, like, attack-wise. I was just like, it's not worth it.
There's just too many cards that out monsters in this format.
Very disrespectful Sangan there.
You have like the weirdest, life point count ever. 988.
That back row makes me nervous.
You just got a top deck Heavy Storm or Pot of Greed into Heavy Storm.
This I'll have to do.
I feel like I should do this now.
Ouch.
I had it before.
Very ouch.
I had it before, but I had to play if I let you keep your monster, so I had to like... My life was low, so...
Oh, looks like you might got this one.
I mean, you might have that Wabaku or that, some other weirdness. Let's go! Sangan for the win!
Is it really gonna end like that?
I mean...
Not yet.
It was close. Alright, let's see. What to get? I don't really want to give away all the things I also got, you know?
Ooh.
Gotta, like, take the more obvious cards. Like, you should know this card is here.
Doesn't it feel nice to be in a format without Ash Blossom?
Yeah, it is. Your cards resolve, but they're only so good. So it's just changed from like big powerful monster effects to back to big powerful spells and traps. And cards that just let you reuse them.
Yeah. Let's go with this.
What? It looks like that might matter.
Well, I was playing Jirai Gumo, so I was just like, might need a way to offset that a little.
Yeah, I suppose. It's sort of doing what it needed to do. Now I can't just top deck any monster and win the game.
Let's do this.
This is the card I came up with that's really silly. It was in the tournament pack. Like when I was like sending it to you, I'm like, there's only like 2 relevant cards. I like started looking it over again. I'm like, we have triple dark hole. Maybe it'll actually be useful.
Would it be crazy if I told you I was playing that too?
I can believe it, but there's got to be like a situation where it's not worth playing. But at the same time, how many white holes are you gonna play compared to dark hole, right? Because if the dark holes come up first, you're not gonna like.
Does white hole is only for that one activation, or is for the whole turn?
It says when, so I guess I have to chain it to another dark hole. So if you have another dark hole, I have to have another white hole.
Yeah, let's do that.
I have another white hole.
Played multiple. Wow.
Yeah, I know that was dangerous. Well, I mean,
All right, that's it for me.
if I have a monster to do the damage with.
Magician of Faith.
Well, I mean, you saw Magician of Faith, but all I got to pick up is Dark Hole, and there's nothing really to kill at the moment. And you're not in like game territory now.
Oof. No bueno.
No bueno, you got that Kuriboh?
No, something I was hoping to bust that later. It's
Well, now I
fine.
get to see it.
Yeah.
Ooh, the Summon Skull. And I'm not sure you're supposed to get the tribute fodder at this point. Like Magical Hat like forces everybody's like cards onto the board in like weird places. So just his existence is cool. Robin Goblin too.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh, okay, yeah, you can't attack with it. Woo! Got worried. Alright, well I had this, so I'll just take that wall out of my way.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, that's what I was saving the judgment for. I was like, I could just change a heart your monster and then like your lodge in before. And then like summon Magician of Faith and attack for game, so
My side deck is so small.
I made all 15, but it's just like changing cards I'm maining for other cards I'm maining, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
there's not that many great options.
Gotta get my head in the game.
Yeah, but that white hole discovery was really like confusing. I'm like, do I do this? I felt kind of bad because I mentioned that there wasn't much in the tournament pack, but that wasn't really the intention. I just didn't even like consider the possibility that playing it would be useful.
No, you were right on that one. Cause I thought about it too. Like I saw the card and I was like, I saw your last deck list and I was like, triple dark hole. This might be some cheese right here.
I also drew Pot of Greed for turn on the last turn of the game, but it
Must
didn't
be
seem
nice.
necessary.
Must be nice.
It would be nice if you actually need Pot of Greed.
I absolutely needed it that last game.
Yeah, it's like hard to catch back up.
Speaking of devil.
Oh no. It's sort of like you're playing old Yu-Gi-Oh! Now with your 6th card for turn 1. And now you're playing without a Pot of Greed.
That is true. What I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna do this. Then I'm gonna do this.
Oh, you did play it. Good. I wanted to make sure you didn't, like, miss it.
No, I saw it. I looked through
Okay.
everything.
I was concerned. Let's see.
Well, what?
Go with that. I'll let you crash on your terms.
Crash right into a mirror force.
Well, I mean, possibly. I don't want to crash into your mirror force. You can crash into my mirror force. And it's like an old goat play where you just said Heavy Storm. So I'm like, maybe that's Heavy Storm. I don't know.
Possibly.
There's also like a decision on how many judgments to play.
I mean, being a back row Altergeist player, there's only one right choice for judgment.
Yeah, I suppose, but it's the only cards that actually do something.
Clever, clever.
Try and pick up some cards now. Yeah, this card wasn't in my list at first, but I needed the Mystic Tomatoes. Seem like they're going to be useful with this in the future.
What set did they come out in?
Mass Sorcerers and Metal Raiders. Mystic Tomatoes next set. Spell Ruler.
Gotcha.
Oh man, it's landing? I didn't see that happening. Oh. I waited a turn to see if I can get this 7 tools on. I saw you had like trap holes and stuff. I figured
Nice.
trap count might be a little higher. Like, I was testing against myself. I just opened 2 games and play, like, both the same deck. I just, like, set Mass Sorcerer, and then I would have to, like, run into it with a monster, and then sometimes you'd, like, get a free draw if your opponent attacking into it. 14 defense is not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
And it's like a heavy Sangin type of format, so Sangin and Witch would, like, attack.
I was debating so hard on playing Exodia with 3 Witches and 3 Sangin. I don't know, I didn't feel like there was enough, like, support for it.
Yeah, there's not that much. I mean, you're gonna brick on them, but you might just search them out really fast, and I mean, it'll get easier when, like, Tomatoes at 3. Tomato,
Yeah.
Sangin, Witch, you just get to them all really fast. And there's only so much you can do about it. You can, like, play card destruction and try and get rid of them. I guess that's a concern. Now I know what I want to side next time. Someone's gonna play it in one of the videos. Someone will, like, cave in. Like, I almost put in, like, Black Skull Dragon, Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, Versaggio the Destroyer.
I looked through, like, all the fusions trying to find some kind of spice.
Yeah,
and,
there
like,
really isn't many options. It's Black Skull or Twin Head, and everything else is kind of crap.
None of them were practical at all. That's like the thing, like, with old Yu-Gi-Oh! The fusions are, like, super specific. Like, you have to get, like, these really useless monsters in order to make it happen. What do I want to do here?
I'm trying to figure out what's in your hand since you're playing like one back row at a time every turn. It's like you obviously have monsters. It's like you don't want to use them, which is fine.
Just waiting, man.
Just trying to make sense of it. That or you have the Heavy Storm and are like trying to use them one at a time. Huh. Wabaku, I wasn't sure it was good enough to play. With, like, Triple Swords Revealing Light. Well, it's really obvious it's there. I mean, I guess Wabaku has the benefit that you can't just, like, Heavy Storm it and, like, die.
Right.
Oh man, my boy Jiragumo.
Big spider. Big spider.
Flip a coin!
Wow.
You still gotta flip.
Yeah.
Can I get you close enough to death? Oh, okay.
Part of the cards, man.
Oh no, the swords! Okay, I actually didn't put you on playing swords.
Why?
Well, I don't know, I just didn't think it would get that played. I felt like my deck was really full, so like I wasn't sure if I wanted to play it at all.
That's one turn.
It might be many, many, many turns. At least you get to, like, build up some resources.
Yeah, kind of need this to slow down just a little bit here. It's falling drastically behind.
Yeah, Judgment makes things go fast. Jiragumo goes fast.
Let's do this.
Owie. The waiting game continues.
Indeed it does.
Like, there's too many back row to, like, commit to playing a card that specifically only kills Swords Revealing Light, the D-spell.
Yeah.
And, like, everything's a trap card, I mean.
Yeah, like, I thought about that card. I was like, what, besides, like, that and a field spell, like, what good is this?
Yeah, and I feel like the field spells are silly at this point, just because, like, everything is clearly, the best cards are clearly Dark and Fiends.
Yeah.
And Spellcasters. So they all do the same thing for both players, so they don't really, like, there's no edge.
Exactly. I could do something here, but I'm not sure if I want to.
Well, I don't have a white hole for your dark hole.
You could have a wall, though, which wouldn't be very pleasant.
I would just set you back a turn.
Let's peek at what you got here. Okay.
Alright, let me find my wall. What to take?
Say again, then get your wall.
That's just slow. Like, I gotta make a choice that makes sense based on that you're gonna know what I have. Like, I don't want to take Magician of Faith and then you just, like, change of heart it and just pick it back up again.
That's quite the possibility.
That happened a lot in my test games. It was the most annoying thing. Yeah, I guess we'll do Sangan.
Sangan in the wall, I called it.
Well, I mean, I'll get the wall eventually.
Pretty hefty hand you got there.
Yeah, I gotta do something with it. Last Will? Dark Hole.
What do I want?
Last Will's a card I didn't think I wanted to play, then couldn't figure out a 40th card. Oh no.
Gotcha.
The Goo Man.
It truly is.
Well, I'll leave it up to you whether you want to, like... Oh, I thought I was doing resolving Last Will, but I was resolving Sangan. That's a little upsetting. I would have done this the other way around. I guess I'll just put out a Witch. Since I already summoned this turn. Oh! It's over!
There goes my...
It took forever.
Wish you could have stuck around a little longer.
Oh, you could just play another one. It's at 3!
Well, yeah, you know, if I actually draw it, that'd be nice. What do I want to do here?
The other thing that's going to be interesting in future sets, I got like Delinquent Duo and Confiscation and Forcible Century next set, and they're all just going to be like taking up deck slots for actual cards.
Cause like that's like the thing with old old school Yu-Gi-Oh. Like half your deck, everybody has like the same cards, and the rest is just like whatever strong 1800 attackers.
Yeah. When I was testing Painful Choice, it was really awkward picking choices that were good for me because you had to make the choice difficult for your opponent also, which was always hard.
Let's do this.
Okay, I guess I don't have anything that contends with your Jirai Gumo.
Besides Dark Hole.
Yeah. How do I go about this? I guess I should take. I don't know what to take. I don't know. Well, at least I didn't put the wall on the field to just get run over. And the Goo Man is here.
It's a pretty beefy hand you got there. I don't like it.
Yeah, there's 4 Exodia pieces and a Wall of Illusion. You better not be playing Sparks.
I wish. That'd be hilarious. Or Ukazi.
Yoink.
Wow, not cool.
Yeah, odds are I'm gonna die, though, depending on what that trap is. I can afford 100 life points to declare this attack. Heads.
And
I called it wrong. I lost 100 life points.
And I lost the game.
Alright, it happens. I'm just gonna pull up the deck list, and while I'm doing that, send me your deck list.
No doubt.
Does that reopen that? Alright, we should be good. So this is the list I went with. It changed a bunch. Originally it had like 2 Summon Skulls, a Soul Exchange, and a Barrel Dragon was in here. And I just decided in the long run that just Sangan control and just like searching the monsters that are useful at the time was just a little better than playing all those big guys. I eventually cut La Jin down even. I figured 4 beaters were enough, although I was questioning whether or not I should play the Jirai Gumos or Dark Witches. So like that was like I think that was like the most worrisome thing I had going on in my deck list. I didn't really have a way to deal with those monsters. Although I was maining like Reinforcements. When I did draw Reinforcements, I couldn't win the game with it at the time, so it wasn't worth playing. I was testing for next format and saw Mass Sorcerer was just good to set in defense because Sangans and Witches run into it. And last will was a questionable play. I wasn't sure what I wanted the last card to be, but I figured if I had like control of the board, I could just like normal summon this Witch's Apprentice and like make everybody beefier and end a game really quick. And the Kuriboh was so that you could like overcommit to playing too many monsters thinking the game was over, and then just the game not end and then suddenly get Darkhold. That was the theory. And the Shield and Sword meant if you had a board full of monsters that were too big for me, like the Skull or the Chaser, I could try and get over it with like a magical hat or a Mass Sorcerer. Mass Sorcerer is pretty cool because you can like normal him, not get trap hold, and then Shield and Sword, and then suddenly he's bigger than almost everything on the board because he's got higher defense than attack. And in the side game, I had Man-Eater Bugs and trap holes specifically for if I was going first, but I didn't know it would happen because I won the first game, so I kind of just pulled the white holes since you knew they were there, and I went with the 7 tools instead because I saw so many trap cards.
So, because the Shield and Sword was a card I debated on too, mostly in my side deck. So, why main the Shield and Sword when you could just play like monster removal like Fissure, or you have the 3 dark holes?
It felt like I had more than enough of that, and Darkhold kills your own monsters, so I wanted something I could play that didn't necessarily like... I mean, obviously a Fissure would also do that, but Fissure is like a very uncontrolled like removal. Like, if you have it, sometimes you can't out a monster you need to out. So I was looking for something that would sort of do that, have a little bit more control over what I kill. It could be like a block attack or a stop defense. Things like that would like accomplish a similar goal, but at least Shield and Sword gave me potential to gain attack also. That's why I wound up going with it. I'm not sure it's correct, but also it hits everything, so I could... Which is a problem if you're winning, I guess, because usually your monsters have higher attack. But if you're losing, you can clear multiple monsters. But it's like hard to put 2 monsters on the board for that to be that useful. So I don't know, it was a questionable play.
No, the logic is sound though. It makes sense.
Yeah, I just needed something that wasn't Fissure. And the options were like block attack, or otherwise there really wasn't much else to play that made sense, I think. I had the Fissures for going second to pull out for like the white holes or something. Especially if you were playing them too. Like, I mean, I don't know if you were. I'll take a look at your list in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But I found in testing, if you get Robbing Goblin on the field, like, you can't lose. It's like crazy how much your opponent gets like pressured to make plays they don't want to make. And I don't know. I think the Kuriboh was good because it came up in both games. I had it in hand, and so like there was like times where even if I was gonna lose, like I couldn't really lose. But I never wanted. I didn't. The erratas for Sangan and Witch made it a worse play because I couldn't like search it because you would just it wouldn't be able to stop you because you can't use the effect of the monster you search, and it'd be obvious that it's there. So you just have to like strategically play around it. So I liked just having it in hand. It kind of operated like a shitty Mirror Force. Or like bait for Dark Hole, like to become live. It's like, oh, you want to summon 1 too many monsters? Kuriboh, Dark Hole.
Why play the Apprentice Magician because you had mentioned before in the match that, you know, Yami kind of did like the same thing and just boosted both players, and the best monsters are already dark monsters.
It wasn't about getting over monsters with the Witch. It was about making my monsters all end the game really fast. Because you could have like 2 monsters on board and be like controlling the field. And then you could just summon this and then all your monsters get bigger. I used to play it back in the day when there was like 3 last wills, and then I would just like activate as many as I could and try and summon a ton of witches, and then all my monsters would get beefy. It was probably one of the more questionable cards. It was a Jinzo number 7, so if I was maining triple swords at first, so I'm like, if I sword you, throw down Jinzo 7, and then hit Robbing Goblin, I can like pull cards for a while. I was having trouble picking the last card, but I didn't want to like go too heavy on the Sangans and the Witches because they're once per turn after the errata, so if you put out too many and then get Darkhold, you only get 2 searches anyway, so I wanted some variety in my choices. Although, I mean, it didn't come up, so I don't know if it was good or not. Like, it probably could have been a main deck Man-Eater Bug, which was only in here for going first, because I figured if I made to go first, I want something I could set, so that if you just set, which is a good chance you're just going to set a monster also, I could, like, if you, let's say you activate Pot of Greed and then set Magician of Faith, which is a very reasonable play. I could, like, flip it and kill your Faith without, like, setting it off. I was looking for ways to stop Magician of Faith from going off because it was like too good. But yeah, I didn't have a good enough reason for play this Witch's Apprentice. It was kind of a... Probably, if I had to pick between the least playable card in here, it was the Witch's Apprentice. And the last will came up, but I don't know if it was correct to play. It's like weird on Yugioh Pro. It resolves where you can actually summon the monster in the battle phase. So if you get like Mirror Force, it can like you can still get in with like a Mass Sorcerer or a White Magical Hat as long as you activated it earlier in the turn. It's kind of like, I dare you to Mirror Force me. So it's a weird card, because its summoning condition is very strange. It just says, if a monster was sent to the graveyard this turn, you can do this. It doesn't say when. It's just once during this turn.
Right.
Anyways, let's take a look at your list and see if you made decisions that make far more sense than mine.
Nah, looking at yours, mine probably make less sense.
That's all right. We'll find out.
Okay, so the summon skulls are obvious. Like, I just wanted, like, game enders. I was playing it at 3 before, but obviously I was working on it with no way to get it on the field. So I cut it to 2, really debated on cutting it to 1, which I probably should have after looking at your list. The mechanical chasers and the Lajins are pretty like self-explanatory, just big beaters. You have the 2 Jirai Gumos, which in my head I knew this was going to be like a game of like almost like a game of like who gets the bigger monsters to stick and has trouble getting over those monsters. So I didn't think you would actually play Jiragumo, which is why I wanted to put it in to just punch over Lajins and hopefully just be as aggressive as possible and maintain control of the board.
I didn't really have a plan for Jiragumo coming onto the board. I was just like, praying it wasn't being played, or at least not heavily.
See, like, because my thought process was like back in the day in like Yu-Gi-Oh, like nobody played Jiragumo because of the life point thing. But I don't know, I just felt like it'd be better here now that we have like a better understanding of like how life points can actually be utilized in Yu-Gi-Oh, which wasn't the case back then. At least not for like the circles that I played in. Dark Elf was like the same line of thinking as well. At one point I had 3 Jiragumos and 1 Dark Elf, but then I don't know, I just felt like Dark Elf I just felt like a 2-2 ratio would have been a little bit better, because a couple of hands I was drawing, like when I was doing test hands, I was getting like multiple Jiragumos in one hand, and it made me a little bit hesitant. I probably should have kept it at that though. There's the 3 witches. I only played witch because it searches every monster in my deck, so I felt that was fine. Sangan would have only searched the Man-Eater bug, which the Man-Eater bug was something I was actually debating on not playing at all and just stick with the beaters. So I have a heavier trap card lineup than you, I believe.
Yeah, I didn't play the Wabakus, and I didn't go all in on the Mirror Force and the Solemn Judgment.
Yeah, like that's always like kind of my thing, because like even like in the lounge videos, like one of the things I always say like in Altergeist is like I like to let the trap cards do the work, especially like in this format where there's not a whole lot of removal for it. All you have is Heavy Storm. So I was like, okay, this felt like the right play, at least for the way I think of playing Yu-Gi-Oh. But going back to the spells, like you have the 1 Raigeki, the 1 Heavy Storm, all self-explanatory. The 2 Dark Holes, I was playing 3, but I bricked on a Dark Hole. Pot of Greed, 2 Fissures, which I debated on cutting to 1, just like you, but I think I had something in there prior, and I just took it out for Fissure. I can't remember what, though.
Maybe the Change of Heart?
Yeah, I'll explain that in a second. But yeah, because I know that looks weird, the Change of Heart's in the side. The Monster Reborn, the Dying Kettles was obviously like offset the Dark Elf and the Jiragumos, because yeah, I was just afraid that a Dark Hole would just like turn it around when I didn't have the out to it and just kind of screw up my whole day. Because like my main idea was to like just try to keep the monsters on board and apply pressure with big beaters. Just very like basic caveman Yu-Gi-Oh strategy, very linear.
I kind of felt like my monsters were never going to stick on the board, so I didn't even bother. I wasn't sure if you'd go with the trap holes. Like, they were in my list and slowly got cut.
I don't know. I just felt like they were just like mandatory in this form of Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I felt like I had to play it. Like it's just the easy 1-for-1 exchange.
If you have board control, you keep board control with it, so it makes sense.
The Wabakus were to help things like Jiragumo and the Lajin and stuff like that to stay on the board. Just like anything to just like keep my monsters on the board and prevent them from being like run over. Cause like that was like my whole like line of thought. Just like keep monsters on the field as much as you can. And if you can't, just like try to turn it around until you can get monsters on the field, which is why I played like the Mirror Forces. Ultimate Offering, self-explanatory. The White Hole, I played 1 copy. I had it at 2. That was the card. I had 2 White Holes, then I put in the Fissure instead.
Oh, okay, yeah, man. That card, like, I'm like, if he does what everybody else has done so far, triple Dark Hole is going to come up, and this White Hole is going to be great. And they're like, I don't want to have 3 White Holes. I'll draw 2 of them, like, after 2 Dark Holes have been played, and it'll be, like, useless.
The funny thing is, like, I had it at 1, and I was just, like, so afraid of drawing No, sorry, I had it at 2, but I was so afraid of drawing multiples, so I just cut it to 1. But, the opposite, like, kind of happened, because I kept drawing multiple Dark Holes, and I was just like, okay, well, I would like to draw other cards to actually play. Pretty self-explanatory as well.
Yeah, that Ultimate Offering definitely could have, like, killed me if you just had a hand full of Jiraigumos.
Yeah.
I forget, I 7 tools it, I think? I guess I was afraid of you putting out more than 1 monster.
Well, I had it both games. In game one, it was in my back row, but I couldn't get one of my monsters to stick long enough because I think you kept trap holding it or something. But yeah, I had that, and I had like Summon Skull. So in case you ever like try to run over one of my monsters, I was like, okay, just tribute it over for Summon Skull. But then you turned around and took the Summon Skull out of my hand.
Oh, yeah. It's just nice when you... There's not a lot of things you can do to people's hands or control the board state, so I don't know. I was a big fan of the White Magical Hat. A card I almost played was Big Eye. It's like a flip effect where you like look at the top 5 cards of your deck.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, I thought about playing it, but yeah, I would have only wanted to play it going first, and just in testing, like stacking the deck, it was like we were set back a turn. Just summoning and setting monsters takes so long, you don't want to like play cards that don't immediately do something.
Right.
That's why I wound up cutting that in the long run. What's up at the side? You didn't finish it, or you didn't have nothing else seemed worth playing?
To be honest, like I just couldn't think of anything to really play for it. So I tried to make this deck like to want to go first, just like set back row and summon big monsters. Like that was pretty much like the game plan for me. So the side deck was kind of made so I could go second. So change your heart, snatch up your monster if you go first, and whatever play you do, fissure, Swords of Living Light in case like my hand was wonky, and just Darkhold, clear the board again. And
No interest in the D spell? Like I mentioned it in the previous videos.
Yeah, I think we spoke about that a bit earlier.
During the game, I think.
Do anything really besides clear off swords or a field spell. So I just
mean,
didn't.
As a side deck card, I think it makes sense just because there's nothing else to really play.
Yeah, but I mean, you already know like what the format is like, so I just I didn't see the point of even like putting it in there. Because then I was like, okay, well, what do I side out for these?
Yeah, that's
like a
also...
card.
Well, Kiddo seems like an easy side out at the very least.
I never sided it out though, because
I
was
did
like,
you side out? Well, what did you put in? The swords, I know.
I'm trying to remember. Game 2, did I go first? I think I went first.
Yeah, you opted to go first.
I think I just sided in 1 swords and the change of heart, and that was it.
All right. Okay, cool. Anyways, we got to see some different deck lists. Next episode will be Spell Ruler, and I think the episode after that will be Pharaoh Servant plus Tournament Pack 2 because it comes out kind of between the sets. And I brought out TP1 in here early just because Starter Deck Yugi brought in the Summon Skull and the Lodge-In. Did you have fun?
I definitely did have fun.
Oh, something else. I forgot to mention this in the previous episode. Legacy Crusaders Discord server, I've currently just opened up like an entire section of chats specifically to play Yu-Gi-Oh! In order. So if anyone wants to participate in this kind of thing, not necessarily for video, but for playing against other players you're going to find who's playing these crazy ban lists or anything. But if you come there, I'm going to try and start getting people to go there if they want to play these older formats. So there is a Discord server where you can find players who might have interests that are similar to yours for these types of sets. But either way, we'll see you next episode with Spell Ruler.